Welcome to the tutorial for Interactive Human Anatomy, a Gale database that we offer here at the library. My name is Morgan and I'm the Outreach and Assessment Librarian. And you can see my contact information here. So if you have any questions at all about anything that we cover in this tutorial today, or about this database, or about any of the other library resources that we have, feel free to reach out to me. I'll be happy to work with you and help you feel comfortable using this database or some other resource that the library offers. The first thing we're going to talk about is quickly how to locate interactive human anatomy within the library resources. And I will actually walk you through this in just a few minutes, but here are the instructions. I'm going to send the slides after the presentation. And if at any point you would like some direction about how to find this database, you have the steps right here, but of course you can always contact me as well. So you would first go to the library's homepage, and then you would go to the databases tab. You would click find by subject, select nursing and health technologies, and then select interactive human anatomy, the database. There are a lot of layers to this process, but once you see it in front of you, you'll feel much more comfortable locating the database. And it really is very easy to find once we see it in front of us. I'm next going to give you a quick overview of what to expect with each particular model that you look at in interactive human anatomy database, and then we'll actually look at the database. So each topic or subject has a few things that go along with it. There's a 3D interactive model. You're going to see an overview of the topic or the subject, and as you work through that particular model and work through the information that's provided to you, you will be able to move through the different parts of the model. And as you do so, the information will actually update. And I'll show you how that works. You don't have to do anything in particular except move through the slides in the model, and the information will automatically update to complement whatever it is that you are looking at. The other really great thing about these topics and subjects, as you're working with the model, you'll get some information. You'll be able to play with the model, and then at the end, there's a quiz. Now, the quiz doesn't connect to a grade book, and the quiz is not attached to any sort of data collection related to a particular course, but it is a great resource if you're wanting to practice your knowledge and practice making sure that you understand what it is that you are interacting with. When you look at each topic and subject, there will also be a list of related models. Anything that might be related to the model that you're looking at will be listed underneath the slides that you're currently on, so that you can perhaps skip to the next related topic if that's of interest to you. And then there are lots of hyperlinks, and those hyperlinks connect to subject terms, and those subject terms then will lead you to reference materials, books, and other academic materials, including academic articles, things that may also be located in a nursing journal. Not every hyperlink will lead to the exact same thing. It really is there to support your learning. So if you find a subject term that you need a further explanation on, a lot of those will link to reference materials. If you're actually looking for something a little bit more in-depth and specific about academic concerns, or about this subject in the academic articles or a nursing journal, you can also search for those in that way. And I'll show you how to do that as well. So really, honestly, it depends on what you need. The model has a lot of different options that you can use. Okay, so let's actually go and look at the database. And then if you have any questions, feel free to email me. I'll be happy to answer those questions or to clarify anything that you might see in the presentation. So we're going to go to the library's homepage. We're going to go to cccc.edu/library. And you can see here we're on the library's homepage. In the middle, you have our summon search, which is our discovery tool. This is the way that you would search for a lot of different electronic materials, but we're actually going to go straight to our particular database. So we'll click on the databases tab. Then you'll see three options. We're going to click find by subject, and that is going to lead us to a list of subjects. And underneath those subjects is a database, or multiple databases, depending on the subject. So we've got nursing and health technologies right here. We're going to click on that, and then we'll get a drop-down menu. And that drop-down menu is going to have all of the databases related to the nursing and health technologies. And you can see right here, Interactive Human Anatomy by Gale is one of our options, and we're going to go ahead and click on that. So you can see here we're at the home page, and we can look at some curated things that are already available to us. We can search for some things up here at the top in the search bar. We can browse activities, or we can browse with a little bit more specificity. If we scroll down, we can look at a certain system if we would prefer, or a certain region of the body. It really depends what is it that you want to look at. That is going to probably help to guide your search most effectively. I'm going to pause really quick. I do want to show you one thing. Notice here we actually have 3D printable models. So you can open up this link here. You can browse the STL files, and then you can say, oh, I'm really interested in looking at the human brain. If that is something that you're interested in and you would like to print a 3D model of the human brain, you can always email me and we can talk about how you might be able to do that. Especially at Harnett, we have a 3D printer here, and we can chat about what your options might be related to 3D printing, particularly with these files. All right, we're going to go back to the home page. I'm going to just go back. So when you search for things, you may not necessarily always find them as easily as you might like. Sometimes that does happen just because you might be thinking of a certain body part, a certain idea in a certain way, and the database has it organized in a different way. It doesn't mean it's not there, just means that you have to find a different way of finding it. So that's another great thing I really want to emphasize about a library, is that you have a full team of librarians who are absolutely happy to help you navigate this resource. So if you're looking for something and can't find it, don't give up. Reach out to the library and we'll be happy to see if we can help you locate whatever it is that you might be looking for. So let's look at a region. I'm going to come down here and I'm going to click on the head. I want to look at that one. Notice though, these are featured categories. I can actually look at all of the region categories if I would like. So it's tons of content. It's just a matter of making sure you know what you want to find. So I'm going to look at the head. I'm going to go ahead and say go. And you can see here we've got 24 search results, things that are categorized as part of the head. And then you'll also notice it's got some other subjects that it's related to, like the circulatory system or the nervous system. I'm gonna open up the bones of the cranium. So that's related to the skeletal system as well as the region of the head. So one thing that you will see here is you'll see a set of slides that are currently loading, and you'll be able to work your way through those slides. You'll see the bones of the cranium. It just gives you a little overview of what you'll see. And then there are your related activities. So maybe you're working on the bones of the cranium, and then you want to move on to the bones of the facial skeleton. Honestly, it depends on what you clicked on. That will be related, or that will curate the related activities. But you can see there's lots of different things that are related that you might not expect, like the bony anatomy of the oral cavity. So if you're studying dental hygiene or dentistry in some way, this might be a great one for learning more about that particular part of the body. So you'll see our slides right here. You'll see some information here, the bones of the cranium. It'll tell you what you're going to learn. And then over here to the right-hand side, you have some more information about what you are looking at. And you'll see here are hyperlinks. We can then explore a little bit more about the skull. And you've got the mandible here. You can explore a little bit more about the mandible. And so this content right here to the right will update as you move through the slides, as will this content over here. So let's work through the slides really quickly. So you can see that the model moves, it then updates to more information about the skull, and then you've got more information to this left-hand side about what you are seeing in front of you. So it'll take it apart, show you a little bit more in detail the kinds of things that you are looking at. You can move these around if perhaps they are in your way for whatever reason, or if it helps you to see in a different way, you can move that around. It gives you a wide variety of different views. And notice here, again, the information is updating as you work through your model. So I'm going to take a minute really quick, and I'm actually going to look at taking this model apart. So you can obviously zoom in if you need to get a little bit closer. You can zoom out if you want to see the full picture. If I was interested in seeing this a little bit more closely, and I felt like it would help me to take the model apart, I could absolutely do that. So I can move pieces around so that I can see more effectively what I'm looking at. And then if I'm ready to put it back together, or maybe I want some practice putting the model back together, I can just drag the pieces back to where they belong. And it will tell me. So it'll be pink when it is not quite there, when the piece is not quite returned to its appropriate spot, and then green when I have found the right spot. So that can be very helpful if you're practicing putting models together or deconstructing models. And then once you get towards the end of the slides, you will see the opportunity for a quiz. And again, the quiz is not connected to Blackboard or to any sort of grade book, but it can be very helpful as you're practicing learning more information. So it'll ask you a question, and then you can click on the correct answer. Some of these questions will be multiple choice. Some will be labeling, and it will tell you, did you get it right? Did you get it wrong? That kind of thing. And in this case, you will see that there are not that many questions, but it can be very helpful if you just need to practice your knowledge in some way. So let's say that you have enjoyed working with this activity. You are interested in learning more. You're not quite finished with this particular subject, but you'd like to learn a little bit more about related concepts. So you have related subjects down here. If you scroll down underneath the source citation, you've got Explore, and you can click on related subjects. So if we click ligaments, for example, what will happen is we will then get some updated information to the right-hand side. We'll get to see some books. So these books are related in a variety of different ways. They could be reference materials, or they could be just topic overviews. In this case, you can see it's actually labeled topic overview. And you can explore those books in detail just by clicking on it, and then read a little bit more about the available materials. It'll also tell you the number of words included in the source and the year that it was published. We can also look at academic journals. That was one of our other options, but we can see it right here as well. So if you're looking for academic articles related to this subject or similar subjects, you will see here, you've got your texts. It'll tell you that these have been peer reviewed, or if they haven't, then it will let you know that as well. When it was published, how many words, and what type of material it is. So like this one's a report, this one's a clinical report, and these two are articles. So this is very helpful if you are very much interested in academic articles or materials related to something that you're working on in this database. There are lots of great features with this database. These are one of the most, I would say, the most important things that you can use this database for. If you have any questions about what we talked about or how to interact with these models, or you just want to see some more examples, please feel free to reach out to the library. We would be happy to help. Here is the information that we have for the librarians. You can see my name and my email, but you can also see our other two librarians, as well as our general email address, so that perhaps if I'm out one day, we will get it to our general email account and you will get help from someone with this database or with any other question that you might have. Feel free to reach out. We're always happy to help, and we hope that you enjoy learning with Gale's database, Interactive Human Anatomy.